What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through step by step the tips I would take if I were trying to start or grow a business from scratch. Now, in this video, I'm going to be walking you through some of the mistakes I made when I first started my business and give you some of the best tips that I have for you to start, grow, and scale your own business. Being able to lay the foundations for a successful business really comes down to understanding what it is we're trying to create, and so that's what I want to try and walk you through today. If this sounds good to you, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I post new videos every week teaching you how to start and grow your own successful business. And if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and watch this video right here where I break down step by step exactly how you can start a business today. As you may or may not know, in 2018, I actually quit my full-time job and jumped headfirst into starting my own business. I had no experience as an entrepreneur. I had a few $100s and an idea, and I just kind of crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. That's right. I didn't have a business yet. I had an idea, and that's why I don't recommend anyone does what I did. In hindsight, it was a little bit reckless, but thankfully I'm still here and I've learned a lot in the process, and that is what I want to share with you today. Over the course of my time as an entrepreneur, I tried many different things until I found the things that worked. And when I no longer liked what I was doing, I changed course and started doing something else. Now, the thing that I've learned is that in every phase of those businesses, once I found the thing that was working, I stuck to it and I became a go-to expert in that area. And so I guess my first piece of advice that I have to offer you is to be flexible in your approach to your business. So be willing to make changes as necessary, while at the same time also being willing to get hyper specific when something is working in your business. Sort of focus on doing that one thing really, really good over and over and over again. We call this doubling down, baby. Okay, so before we really get into all of the things you need to know to start and grow your own small business, I do want to cover some of the common misconceptions that I see floating around on the internet these days. Back when I started my business in 2018, I thought that I knew everything. You know, you start a business, you sell a product or service, you make a bunch of money, right? It's that easy. No. So many of these online business gurus are trying to tell us that if we start a business and we follow this 5-step process, we're going to make $10,000 in the next 30 days. But the reality is that's simply not true. Okay, I actually have a confession, and I haven't talked about this in very many places on the internet, so buckle up. Back when I started my business, I actually hired a business coach and I paid $4,500. That's right. $4,500 when I was first starting my business. I hadn't made any sales and I just wanted help on what the heck I was supposed to be doing. Let's just say it did not go well for me, but that's a story for another day. If you want to hear the tea on that, leave me a comment below and maybe I'll make it into another video. The takeaway I want you to have from this story is that just because you see someone else on the internet being successful or apparently successful, that doesn't mean that the same story is going to be true for you. But also, I don't want that message to discourage you. I think the point here is that one person's journey is not reflective of someone else's journey or what your journey is going to look like. Like, I opened a yoga studio in an area that was already full of yoga studios and I was still successful. So it is possible. It just might not look the same as what someone else on the internet is trying to tell you it's going to look like. The real point is that if we look at other people and say, oh, that person made X amount of dollars, and then we have that expectation for ourselves and we don't make that much money, or our success looks totally different, we are setting ourselves up for failure or for disappointment when we don't achieve the thing that that other person said we were going to achieve. Does that make sense? I could teach you every single thing that I've done in my business, but chances are your results are going to look different than what mine were. So as we move into this video and as you continue to move along in your business, I just want you to keep in mind that someone else's version of success isn't going to be the exact same as yours, and that's okay. Also, everything you see on the internet is not always the full story. Okay, so all that being said, what the heck should we be doing? If the concept of starting a business is completely new to you and you have no idea what you're doing, go ahead and watch that video I mentioned earlier in this video. It's linked below in the description, and I would suggest you get your hands on my free small business checklist. This will walk you step by step through every single thing you need to do to get your business from idea to implementation. Again, it's totally free, no strings attached, and it is linked down below in the description of this video as well. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume that you already have a business idea, or maybe you've already started the very beginnings of your business and you just need some help on sort of where to go from here. If so, you're in the right place. And of course, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content on how to grow your small business. What I want you to do, and you can consider this sort of tip number one, is to get really clear with your idea. What is it that you're making or creating, and why is it so important? What is it that you're making or creating here, and why do you want it? Focus here is really, really important. This means focus in your idea, focusing on what is necessary for you to do to make it happen, focusing on why it's so important to you. Because this clarity and focus is going to be the key thing in helping you to continue to move forward, even when you're working in your business and you're maybe not getting the results you want, but you still need to keep going in order to be able to eventually achieve them. So get crystal clear here. What is your business? What is your mission? What is your vision? What do you value in your business? Why is it so important? And most importantly, why is it important to other people? Again, the clarity piece here is going to be so, so important when it comes to really scaling and continuing on that pathway to success. Okay, so this point really leads me well into tip number 2. Always keep your customer front of mind. And so to do this, we really need to understand who this customer is. Who are they? Who is your ideal client? An ideal client is someone whose needs are met directly through your product or your service. And it's also someone who you want to work with on a long-term basis. Listen, I've tried the business where I offer every service to every kind of person, and you know what happened? I had to work with some really awful people, but I also burned myself out in the process of trying to accommodate all of these different people and all of their different needs, especially when I was working with people that I just didn't want to be working with. And that's nothing against them. It's just they weren't the right fit for me, and I wasn't clear on who it was I wanted to work with. When you know who it is you want to attract, you can speak to them in your copy, in your marketing, and in your content. And in turn, it will help you to avoid the chance of attracting those people who just quite frankly aren't your ideal client. And that is why it's so important to figure out who they are, what they like to do, where they like to spend their time, and how you can help to make their lives better. You want to understand how you can show up and serve them, and also how can you make their experience with you top notch. It doesn't matter if you're a product seller or a service-based business, customer experience trumps everything. And in all industries, it is paramount to the success of your business. You know, I was actually in a podcast interview recently, and I was discussing this idea of how we often get caught up in this obsession of making our first 10K, 100K, $1 million, that we forget that having success in business comes to making our first dollar and attracting that first client, putting everything we have into their experience so that we can use that feedback to grow as a business and to get and retain more clients or customers in future. Like, think of a time when you were a customer or a client and you had a bad experience. Are you going to use that business again? Are you going to refer it to your friends? Chances are no. Clients want to feel seen, to feel heard, and to, most importantly, feel connected to you in a positive way. So know them well and focus on serving them even better. If you have questions about this, leave them in the comments below and I am happy to help. Okay, tip number 3, and this one starts with an important question. What is your goal with your business? What do you want to create? And what about your business and your offer makes you different from the competition? It's not about being totally new or completely different, but it's about understanding what your unique selling proposition is. And again, this is going to be the key component that sets you apart from other people, other services, other offers in the same industry as you. I talked about this in the beginning when I shared the example of my yoga studio, but chances are whatever your business is, there is somebody else out there doing the same thing already. There was competition when I had my yoga studio, and there's competition now as a business coach. It's everywhere, and quite frankly, it's just inevitable as part of entrepreneurship. But that's okay. Listen, when you start a business, one of the most important things that you're going to learn is that you are never alone. There is always going to be competition, but that shouldn't be a deterrent for you in continuing to pursue your business. I really like to always think about competition as confirmation that what I'm doing is in demand with people, because if the industry didn't exist, then there wouldn't be any clients for me to sell to, right? So rather than seeing competition as a bad thing, you can often just recognize it as assurance that you're on the right path and you're doing a thing and offering a product, a service, whatever, that people actually want to pay for. But you have to be willing to put in effort to understand the market, understand where you fit into the market, and understand what sets you apart from those other competitors. And this is going to be the key to your success. Here's how you can go ahead and figure it out. It's very similar to when we were identifying who our ideal client is. We are simply just going to get super specific. You want to know who your competitors are, know what their strengths are, what are they really good at, and then understand what their weaknesses are. What is the thing that they are offering? What is it missing? What could you offer in place of the thing that they have, that maybe there's a blind spot or something that they're just not touching on? So if we go back to this example with my yoga studio, when I started, every studio in the area was a physical studio space with 4 walls, and all of the clients had to drive to the location to attend a yoga class. And so as a gap in service, I decided to offer a mobile service where I would put all the mats and all the blocks in the trunk of my car and I would drive to the client's location. And so nobody else was offering this service at the time. It was just me. People could call me. They wanted yoga at their house. I would show up and give them the yoga class where they were at, and they no longer had to drive to the studio. So the gap that I saw was delivery of service, and that was what I provided. Again, we live in an age where customers want to feel connected to the brand, to the product, to the service provider. What about your business makes that experience of connection different from your competitors? What is it that they're missing, or what is it that they're doing that isn't working? These are the types of questions I want you to be asking yourself. Further to this, another way to really think about this is to not just focus on what the product or service is that you're selling, but to also think about who it is you're selling to, how it is you're offering that service, and what about you as an individual or a business makes it unique. These are all going to be vital components in helping you to understand what sets you apart in the marketplace. Okay, listen, friend, I never said that being an entrepreneur was going to be easy. And I wish I had some simple 1, 2, 3-step formula that I could share with you to make it that much simpler, but I don't. The journey to starting and growing a successful business is honestly one that's filled with a lot of questions, a lot of experimentation, and a lot of willingness to change and pivot and grow along the way. So I can sit here and I can offer you all of the advice and information that I know to help you be successful, but it's up to you to take that information, implement it, and see where it goes. That's what makes all the difference, and that's why I am so happy to be here to help you. I would actually love to hear from you in the comments if you would let me know what your business or business idea is. I always find it so interesting to connect with other entrepreneurs and to just kind of see what creative ideas people have. So feel free to share that in the comments below. Also, if you want to share like your Instagram handle or anything like that, I think it's so fun to connect with other entrepreneurs, so I would love to see that there as well. I cannot wait to connect with you and to support you in your journey growing your own small business. If this video was helpful, again, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, give it a like if you feel so inclined, and I will see you next week in another small business video.